What's up? I know it's been a while. This video is about, you can clearly see in the title, it's about Evangelion. That shit is on Netflix now. As many animes as I've ever watched, Evangelion has always eluded me because it's fucking expensive to buy those out of print DVDs just to watch a fucking really old show that's super impactful in anime. You think I got the money for that? I don't. Right. So they finally released it on Netflix. I am watching it on Netflix, but in Japanese because I'm not sure about the English dub. I've been hearing mixed things. But what I have been hearing through the anime Twitter, through Twitter in general, if I'm gonna watch Evangelion, I'm watching it an episode a day. That's it. I'm watching an episode a day, and this video is my review, or I should say, I don't review anime anymore. I should say I like to discuss anime, and I know nothing. I know very little. I have a very mediocre understanding of anime in comparison to everybody else you see on YouTube. So here's my take on this. So in this video, it's going to be about the first 2 episodes of Evangelion. Now, if you haven't watched Evangelion like me, this show is fucking weird. A little bit off, and it kind of feels a little familiar. And it really just feels familiar because I guess over so many years that Evangelion has been out, so many mecha anime have taken so many parts of it. So it kind of hits me. I get a hint of this, a hint of that, all over the place. But nonetheless, the first episode was really about like just showing what NERV is, this private company inside of the UN that apparently specializes in making giant robots. And they have 2 units, Unit 00 and Unit 01. Unit 00 is piloted by a girl named Ray who was injured, and Unit 01 doesn't have a pilot right now. NERV is headed by something Ikari. I'm just gonna call him Ikari because I forgot his first name. Forgive me. Now they're like a subsidiary of the UN, so they have to kind of answer to them. So then there's monster, this kaiju monster, whatever you want to fucking call it. It comes down, they call it an angel. It's wrecking shit all over their super futuristic 2015. Ikari promised them he'll find them a second pilot in order for them to use the 01 for any protection against any other angels that come from, I'm assuming, space. Enter Shinji Ikari, his son, who his dad left him when he was like, 11 years old to go work super hard and never look at him and never fucking acknowledge him. So he goes and he meets his dad into the NERV job. He meets Captain Katsuragi. Yeah, I believe it's Captain Katsuragi. Captain Katsuragi, and it gets told that he's gonna be piloting this mech. Now, I don't know if this is where that meme comes from, where everybody's telling him, Shinji, get in the fucking robot. That's all you have to do, and we'll fight. We'll tell you what to do. And he is so hesitant that they have to call the injured pilot Ray, who's basically disassembled, in order to try to pilot this. And he feels so bad about what's going on. I feel so bad about looking at Ray in her fucking disheveled state with her chest fucking opened, that he's like, I'm gonna pilot it. And that's the end of the first episode. It only really sets up like kind of the world, the angels, who is Shinji, his relationship with his father, very briefly. So I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool. The animation is done very well, especially it's like mid 90s, like 95 or some shit like that. It's really, I love the way how fluid that animation is. I think it's super eye pleasing. We pick up where it left off, except Shinji actually gets in the mech. He starts fighting. The angel is fucking smacking him up, grabbing by his arm, breaking that shit, and then puts his weird monster hand on Eva 01 and just starts mashing it with this light ray of hope from its hand, just smacking it over and over, banging it. And then Shinji blacks out, and then they just tell him, hey, you did it, you successfully beat him, yay. And they're like, I thought for a second that I wasn't noticing, like I wasn't paying attention to the show, or I dozed off or some shit, and I'm like, that's not how that right. So I go into more of the regular, like, what's Shinji gonna be doing now? Oh, he's gonna be staying with Katsuragi by themselves in an apartment. We find out that Katsuragi is living, she asked to live with Shinji because otherwise they would have just separated both the Akaris in two different places living by themselves. And they even mention it like they lived alone for so long now that they're kind of used to being alone. So if you kind of put them together in the same house, it'd be really weird for them. And they don't want that. So I get that. That just shows like how strained their father-son relationship is. So Katsuragi's like, you can leave with me. So she lives with him. So Shinji comes. It's all about getting kind of to know each other. They're playing rock, paper, scissors to do the chores. The fucking house is a mess. And look, this keeps enforcing this weird-ass stereotype that somehow is true, that women are fucking slobs if they're by themselves. That shit is all over the place. She has beer in every single crevice of the fucking house. And look, I'm not going to fucking defend either or. If they're slobs or they're not slobs. It's just, okay, I guess this show does it too. It looks like all mecha anime after this takes portions. Like, I can see so many different main characters of different mechas being inspired by Katsuragi or hinted at or like influenced by these parts of Evangelion. It's cool. I'm into it so far. I think it's fine. The best character so far to me in episode 2 of this show is the fucking penguin. I kind of want it as a plushie just because it looks so weird. It was taking a shower and you're like, okay, I didn't know penguins needed to take human showers. And then it opens its own refrigerator in order for it to sleep in with this big ass nail, and just has a fucking chilling ass, just has a chair inside that fridge just to chill. Be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna chill right here. This is where I live. I'm a penguin. You got a problem with that? So Shinji is just laying in his bed, and it's so 90s, even though it's supposed to take place in 2015, and it's supposed to be how the future is going to be, which I always find interesting. We see that Shinji is just laying in bed with his Walkman, listening to music, like operatic, kind of classical music, and then we get the flashback of what actually happened. The angel beats the shit out of him, but it goes berserk. And Shinji blacks out, and the mech just demolishes, just beats the shit out of the angel. The angel grabs and face fucks Eva, and then it explodes, and then it dies. It self-destructs. Then they go back to Shinji, and he's just like, he didn't recognize the hospital bed he was in. He doesn't. It's just it's like he feels so out of place already. He doesn't know where he belongs as it is, and to come into this, to be working for and with his father on something he doesn't completely understand, I could feel like why he's out of place, and I think that's cool. Then to Katsuragi coming in, trying to reassure him of the fact like you're doing a good thing. One day the people of Tokyo 3 will fucking salute you. And then she's like, come with me outside. And I think they end the episode on this, like showing them the horizon of the city that he just saved, and it does like the most Elon Musk thing I could think of, where all the buildings of that area, to protect themselves from the angels, are automatically like they lowered into the ground, so they would come up. So when everything's safe, it's like automatically the buildings just rise up and just stay there. And I think that's cool. Like, that's definitely something that we don't have now, but I can see it completely implemented. Can you imagine the fucking projects of Harlem and shit, and a fucking Bed-Stuy, where the project buildings like just lower themselves on the ground in case of catastrophe? Like, that would be cool, but also extremely fucking dangerous. So 2 episodes into Evangelion, I'm being very cautious about what I look at the internet. Okay, there have been things here and there spoiled. I wouldn't say necessarily spoiled, but I guess take the experience of the show just a little bit for me. But because I don't really know what I'm getting into, it's kind of like, okay, I wonder what that means. So I'll just wait and see. I'm not gonna ruin it for you. But obviously the show is fucking 30 years old at this point. How could you not get it spoiled? I surprisingly haven't got the real show spoiled altogether for myself. So there's that. If you want to go ahead, remember, it's on Netflix. You can watch it with me. I'll try to make these videos as frequently as possible. Oh, and as well, Netflix changed their ending to the Evangelion. They used some other ending. So for you fucking elitists and purists who are just like, you're not watching it the real way. First of all, nobody's ever watching it the real way ever again. I hope you understand that, because I'm not watching that shit through Kiss Anime or any illegal sub shit, just because I hate dealing with all that shit in the first place. Secondary, when the the episode finishes, I go straight into YouTube and find this one video where it says all the end, Fly Me to the Moon ending of Evangelion, episode 1 through 26. That alone tells me that the ending changes constantly through the episodes. So I want to know what's up with that. I will leave it at that. I just want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Come back to the channel in a couple days. Click the notification bell to see when I put up the next episode. And chill out, my guys. We're here for the long run.